here's a small overview of what we're going to build here shortly. It's our TypeScript SDK. We're going to dive into the dashboard and the features a little bit later. Okay, let's dive in. So in order for us to get our TypeScript SDK, we have an npx package or an npm package, a CLI tool that we're going to utilize. We're going to need to configure Clerk for authentication, so you need a Clerk account. It is free. And then we're going to configure some of our .env files today. Not a ton of work, but just enough to be granular with. So I like to use VS Code. I'm going to create a folder here. So I'll say Walacor demo, and I'll take my VS Code project and I'll drag and drop this Walacor demo here. Let me make this all full screen here. I'll say, yes, I trust the authors. Let me just get out of all this stuff here, all these little pop-ups. You may not have as many as I do, or you may have more. But okay, let me open up my terminal. Let me close the ports here, and I'll zoom in some for you guys. So I'm in my terminal here, and I want to say npx create Walacor -app, npx create -Walacor-app, and I'll say /. It'll prompt us with some CLI selections. So would you like to add ESLint? I'll say, yes, I would. Would I like to add a CI/CD pipeline? I sure would. Playwright testing? I'll say no, but if you'd like it, go ahead. And prettier, I would like to add that as well. So you can see it brings in a ton of software on the left for us, and specifically a .env example. While it's installing some of the dependencies and configuring the application, let's just go ahead and wait for this. We should get a success message here shortly. Boom. Okay, so project created successfully. Next steps, go ahead and CD into your application. I'm already in it. And then I should be able to run dev. However, if I run dev, I'm actually not going to be able to access it quite yet. We're going to have some errors, but we're going to handle that immediately right now. So how we handle this is we want to go to our .env. This is pretty much the only thing we need to configure. Now there's a few different things that we need to configure here, so it seems like a lot, but we're going to get it handled, don't worry. The first thing that we need to configure just to run the application is going to need to be our authentication. Because right now we have middleware set up where if we don't have our authentication set up, the application is not going to work. So how I want to do that is go to clerk.com, and we're going to sign up for a free account on Clerk. You can see I'm already signed in, so it's going to just prompt me with a different navigation component here. What I'd like to do is go to the dashboard after you've signed in and signed up for a free account. And let's see, here at the dashboard, we're looking at the overview here, if not find the overview. And there's a few different applications here, front-end client applications. We have Expo, you can see that for mobile dev. You can see JavaScript, just plain Jane stuff, Astro, Remix, React, and finally Next.js. Our TypeScript SDK is built in Next.js, so go ahead and select this. And it's as easy as just copying down your environmental variables. You don't need to worry about anything else. Everything is already configured in the application. The Clerk.js tooling, the middleware, the app router, all this stuff is already configured here. So all you need to do is just click copy here for your next public Clerk publishable key in your Clerk secret. And I'll go back to our application here. And just right where it says next public publishable key in Clerk, I'm just going to copy over it and paste our publishable key in Clerk secret. And let me rename this instead of .env.example. I'm going to rename this to .env. And just like that, let's go to run dev. We should have access to our application. So here's our localhost 3000 pulling up now. And just like that, we have access to our application. Now the dashboard functionality, we're going to be able to access here in a moment. If you'd like to play around and click on stuff, go right ahead. Like I said, you actually will be able to sign in to Clerk now. So I can go ahead and sign in with a Google account. It's going to prompt you with your phone number. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to sign in here. I'm going to use one of my emails here, and it's going to prompt me with a phone number to place here. So I'll go ahead and add my phone number. And I'm going to get a verification code sent to my cell phone. Here is my verification code. And you can see we now have access to our dashboard in Walacor. So feel free to poke around. Now, none of the APIs are going to be connected quite yet. You could poke around, see what some of the buttons do, review the verification bit. Some of these things don't have access. We'll talk about that in a moment. You can review the hooks, the home page, but we'll link all this information up here in the next video. Thanks for watching.